friends, in our previous video we have just started the class 12 physics. So the first chapter is electric charges and fields. Today we will see the ways of charging. So before this we should understand the conductors and insulators. So what is conductor? Conductors are the material which will allow the flow of electron on it, or you can say the flow of current, because flow of current is in the terms of flow of electrons. So any example of conductor is human body is behave like conductor, okay, and graphite. So how it will possible if any conducting body, this is any conducting body, and we will bring any charged body to this. So what will happen? Then the all electron will equally divided into this conducting surface. Okay, so what is insulator? Insulator is just opposite of conductor. It will not allow the flow of charge on it, or flow of current. Like plastic is an insulator, rubber is an insulator, and glass is also insulator. So these two are the conductor and insulator. Now we have one more term is superconductor. So if we will rank it, then insulator will come in a very lowest rank. It has low conductivity or very zero conductivity, you can say. The conductor have some conductivity. Conductor have conductivity, and the superconductor are very high conducting material. Okay, it is very high conducting material. So one term is very high conducting material, superconductor. And one more term which will come between insulator and conductor is semiconductor. Semiconductor means half conducting. You can say partially. It will allow the current flow of current partially. Okay. Now the ways of charging. First is charging by friction. There are many ways of charging, but in your NCERT book there are 3 ways, but it is very lengthy in book, so I might suggest that you should prefer this. Okay. So first is charging by friction. In friction, what will do? We just rub a charged body with the uncharged body. We will rub a charged body with uncharged body. So what will happen? The electron will transfer from charged body to uncharged body. And if we will separate both the bodies, the first body will get positively charged because all electrons are transferred to this body, and this will become negatively charged. Very simple. Okay, now second is charging by conduction. Here we will do conducting. We will contact two conductors. We will place two conductors and we make them contact to each other. So what will happen? If we want, this is charged body, this is uncharged body. If we want to make the both body negatively charged, so we will place this negative charged body with uncharged body, so in contact. Okay, so what will happen? This negative electrons, this electron will flow from this body to this body. Okay, these both body are conductors. Okay, so now the question is this they will distribute the charges equally? We can't say they will distribute the charges. It is depend on the size, shape and material type. Okay, if the both body having same size, same material, okay, then the charge will get transferred equally and distributed equally to both body. Okay, now next is charging by induction. This is very important. Not that important, but yeah, somehow important. So induction, what we will do, suppose we want to charge positive. We have one body A, and suppose this is body A, and we want to charge positively. Okay, this is neutral. In this present, the body is neutral. So what we will do, we will bring a negative charge body near to this neutral body. So what will happen? This is neutral, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have charges. It has charges. It has equal positive and equal negative charges, and they both are cancel out to each other. That's why this body is called neutral body. When we bring this negative charge body to this body, what will happen? It will attract all positive charges towards this surface, and all negative charges will get repelled by this negative charge, and they will come in this surface. Okay, now this body is polarized, not charged, polarized. Now what we will do, we will bring another body B and make contact with A. So what will happen? All negative charge will flow. This is uncharged body. So definitely who will flow? Or obviously electron will flow. Proton will never flow, never get transferred. So the all electron will flow from this body to this body. And if we will separate these two bodies, what will happen? A will be positively charged and B will be negatively charged, because all electrons are flowed from this to this. Okay. Same another way, if we want to charge any body negatively. If we have a body, now we want to charge it negatively. So what we'll do, we will bring a positive charge body near to this. Then all positive charge will come here in this surface, will get, sorry, positive, not negative charge will get attracted. So all negative charge will get attracted and all positive charge will get repelled, and they will come in this surface, and negative charge will come in this surface. What we will do, we will not contact with other body. We will give a earthing, and earth is the ocean of electrons. Okay. So what will happen? The electron will flow from here to here, and they will cancel out all positive charge. They will cancel out all positive charge, and this body only contain negative charged. So what we will, if we will see, after some process, the A will be negatively charged, because all positively charged or all positive charge are cancelled out from these electrons which are coming from this earth, because here we are giving the earthing, and earthing, it is ocean of electrons. Okay, just note it down. Now we will see the Coulomb's law. Okay, the Coulomb's law is useful to measure the force between 2-point charges. Suppose in vacuum we have one charge Q1 and another is Q2, and we have placed both the charges in vacuum with some distance. The distance between charges is R. Okay, they can be like charges, they can be unlike charges. Suppose this is positive, this is negative, they will attract each other because they are unlike charges. Suppose this is negative, they will repel each other. In both conditions, they will apply some force to each other. Okay, and we will measure that force in Coulomb's law. So, the force between two charges, when it is placed in some distance, okay, in vacuum, so the force is directly proportional to the product of the magnitude of the charges. product of the magnitude of the charges, that is Q1, Q2. This is the product of the magnitude of Q1 and Q2. And the second theory is F is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the charges. So what is the square of the distance? Is r square, and it is inversely proportional, so it will come as 1 upon r square. So in combined form, how can we write it? F proportional to, directly proportional to Q1, Q2, and inversely proportional to r square. Okay, if we'll open it, means convert in a equal form, we will put here equal sign, then there come one constant, that is k. So it will be Q1 product Q2 upon r square, and k is the constant that has value which is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Okay. Now k has another value, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, where epsilon naught is permittivity. Okay, it is permittivity in free space. It has value, that is 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12 Coulomb square upon Newton meter square. Okay, this is the value of epsilon naught, and the whole constant k value is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square upon Coulomb square. Okay, so this is the basic theory of Coulomb's law. This is the formula. Now just see the Coulomb's law in vector form. This is point Q1, Q2. This is the position vector of Q1, that is R1, and this is the position vector of Q2, that is R2. Okay, this is the position vectors. And the force which is applied by Q2 on Q1 is F12, and the force which is applied on Q2 by Q1 is F21. So how we can write? F12 equal to F1 minus F2, and F21 is F2 minus F1, which means F12 equal to minus of F21, right? In the position vector form, it is R12 and R21, and we can express R12 like R1 minus R2, and R21 is R2 minus R1, which means R12 equal to minus of R21, and if we will take the magnitude, the minus will be cancelled. It will convert in a positive form, then R12 equal to magnitude of R12 is magnitude of R21 simply. Okay. Now next is, we just seen the basic expression of Coulomb's law. F equal to mod k mod of Q1 Q2 upon, suppose we are taking R1 square, the position vector, and if we are expressing in a vector form, we will put a unit vector which is R12, and we will put a 1 cap to show this is unit vector. And if we will open any unit vector, so it will be, if we are taking unit vector of R12, how we can express? This will be the vector of R12 upon mod of R12. We can express in this form, and we will put it here. Then F equal to K into Q1 Q2. This will be R12. You can consider it mod and without mod, that is mod. Any constant value you will get here into, this will be R12 vector of R12 upon R12, mode of R12, and this mode of R12 will come out from the mode and it will convert in R12, and this R12 will multiply with this R12 and will become K into Q1 Q2 upon R12 cube, R12 cube to the power cube, and this will be R12 vector R12 multiply with the vector R12. Okay, this is the basic expression when we will take the Coulomb's law in a vector form. Now just see the one example. We have formula. We will just Coulomb's law and Newton's law, which we have already seen. Coulomb's law just seen, and Newton's law we have already studied in class 11th, where we were finding the gravitational force between two stationary body which has two mass m1 and m2, and they were placed in some distance with some distance. Okay, and Coulomb's law, it is F equal to in electric field, that is Fe. So F equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R square, we have just seen. And the Newton's law, the force is gravitational force, so we will denote by Fg, that was minus G m1 m2 upon R square. Okay, so first compare the strength of these forces by determining the magnitudes. We should determine the magnitude of forces, an electron and a proton. First was we should find out the magnitude of these forces and compare it. How we will compare? We will just find out these forces and make it in a ratio like Fe upon Fg. Okay, so what it is saying, we should find out for one electron and one proton. First condition is for one electron and one proton, and we know the Q1 is electron and Q2 is proton, and the value of electron and proton are same, just sign are different because these are the unlike charges, so they will attract to each other. One is positive, one is negative, and we will multiply this Q, this positive to this negative, that will become negative. And the Q1 E and Q2 is also E. The value of Q2 is value of proton, and that will in the term of E, 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. So we will just simply take E, so that will become E square, and this R we will take as it is. Now this is minus G, the value of Fg is minus G, and mass of electron into mass of proton upon R square. This R square will be cancelled out. So this simply we will get minus Ke square upon minus G, and this minus will be also cancelled out. Ke square upon G Me Mp, mass of electron into mass of proton, and K has constant, that value is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton, 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square upon Coulomb square. I guess I'm saying right. And the E value is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, that will be square. And the value of G is, what is the value of gravitation constant? Is 6.67. Just note it down, 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11. Okay, 10 to the power minus 11 meter square upon Newton meter square upon kg square. This is the value of capital G, 6.67 into 10 to the minus 11, and this is the value of K, constant K, and we will just simply put here 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11, and the mass of electron is, which I have already told you in your previous video, The mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg, and which we will put here 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 30 cross mass of proton is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Okay, just note down the all values I'm writing here. What values we should require? The value of capital G is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square upon kg square. Okay, proton is mass of proton is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. These are the values which are required, and K is value which we have already seen and I have mentioned here. So if we will calculate this, what we will get? We will get somehow Fe upon Fg equal to that will be approximate value. In physics, do not get panic if you will not get the exact value. You will get somehow approximate value. This is not maths, this is physics. Okay, so that will come 2.4 into 10 to the power 39 or 40, I guess 39. Okay, so you can say the force in electric field are 2.4 into 10 to the power 39 times of force in gravitational field. Times of gravitational force, you can simply say. Okay, now the second is we should find out the magnitude for two protons. I hope you have noted down. Actually, board is very small, so I'm adjust. You should adjust. I hope you note down the things. I'm rubbing it. Second, what is saying? Find out the same strength for two protons. The same Fe upon Fg. The value of Fe will be same. No. For the protons, it will become positive. That because this is the like charges, so they will repel each other. So the K Q1 and Q1 Q2 will be E square as it is, because electron is proton and proton is electron. The value of proton is electron and value of electron is proton. K into E square upon R will be cancelled out again. So this will be minus G into mass of proton into mass of proton, because now we have to find out between two protons, and this will become positive. So what we will get, we will just put the values. K is 9 into 10 to the power 9 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 square upon G is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 into MP. The mass of proton is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 27 square. So somehow we will get the value 1.3 into 10 to the power 35, 37 or 36. This will be the value in this case, in two protons case. You just calculate and find it out, because it is not possible in this short board to calculate all those things. Okay, now next is estimate the acceleration of electron and proton due to electric forces. Now we have to find out the acceleration. of electron and protons. So for acceleration we should find out the force, because force equal to mass into acceleration, and if we will find the acceleration, that will be F by m. For proton we will put the mass of proton, and for electron we will put the mass of electron. So force, and it is saying that it is apart, the both are apart, means distance between both charges is 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Distance is declared, which means the value of r is declared. F equal to k q1 q2 upon r square. So k equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9 into q1 q2 again e square, electron square. That means 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 square upon r square, 10 to the power minus 10 square. Okay, if we will find out it has some value, what the value we will get. So it's 10 to the power minus 20 minus 38. Somehow you will get approximately 10 to the power 40 or 42 something. So whatever you will get the force value. Then for acceleration you just put, for acceleration of electron, so what you will put here, you will put the value of force upon the mass of electron. And then for acceleration for proton we will just put the same value F upon mass of proton, and you will get the answers. Okay, so this is the numerical. Just try to solve. If you will get any problem solving this, you just comment, then I will give you the solution.